Yo, the NBA starts in like a month's time, so I'm gonna predict my Eastern Conference standings. I actually found this seed to be the hardest because it's very close between, I'd say, the bottom four with the Detroit Pistons, the Wizards, the Hornets, the Nets, even the Raptors. It's very close because they've all made somewhat of moves, but just some teams are just better than the rest. So I'm gonna start from the bottom, work the way to the top, like any other tier list ever. Let's start with my prediction for the 15th seed. Obviously, the Pistons finished 15th last season. We all know that they had a horrible year. Cade kind of carried their team to 14 wins, if I'm being honest. Now the Pistons this offseason, keep in mind, this video is recorded before the trade deadline. So any major trades that happen from after this video is published obviously would influence what's going on here, but for now, it is what it is. Now the Pistons added the likes of Tobias Harris. They received Tim Hardaway, Malik Beasley, and Paul Reed. With all these transactions, they lost Quentin Grimes, and they lost Wiseman and Taj Gibson. Now, if you see me veer off here, I've got notes written down because I'm not going to remember every single team's trade. If I'm being honest, what they added and what they lost, Tobias Harris isn't going to add too much to this team, if I'm being honest. His shooting struggled last year. Paul Reed, he's not going to change this team from being a 15-win team to a 25-win team. It's not going to happen. Malik Beasley could help it a little bit. Again, I don't think this team is going to finish any higher, especially with the teams around them. Detroit Pistons in my 15th spot. The 14th seed. This is where it gets weird because I thought I knew exactly the team I was going to put here. But it's changed looking into what they actually added. The team that was originally going to be here, they've changed my mind. They're not going to be there anymore. So the team that I think is obviously there just because of what happened, they're definitely taking a step in the right direction finally. But the team I'm going to put here is the Brooklyn Nets because they lost Mikal Bridges obviously was a massive loss for them, but also a massive win because of what they got. They traded Mikal Bridges and other things for Bojan, Shake Milton, 4 unprotected first round picks, a pick swap, and a top 4 protected pick for Mikal Bridges. So complete rebuild time. I still think they're going to finish higher than Detroit. They got Cam Thomas still there. He can go for 40 whenever he wants. I think they're still going to be better than the Pistons. Obviously, I love Cade on the Pistons, but he ain't going to do enough to this team. So this Nets team still has Cam, Ben Simmons if he plays. They got Nick Claxton, I think, is still there. Or was he traded? I don't know. I haven't done my full research on the Brooklyn Nets. This team is definitely going to be better than the Pistons. The Pistons, I just feel like they haven't upped their game. Like, Tobias Harris isn't an upgrade in my books. Unless he ups his three-point shooting again. I don't know. But I feel like these two were very interchangeable. But definitely Brooklyn is definitely going in the right direction. Full rebuild. They want that Cooper Flag. They want that Cooper Flag. Now that brings me to my next team. This actually, I take it back. This might be the hardest slot. It genuinely might be the hardest slot. This could be 3 teams. 4 even. This is where I'm going to put the Toronto Raptors. Nope, not up there. Now they obviously have Scotty Barnes. He's amazing. They have RJ Barrett. He's great. They have Manuel Quickly. He's great. But the team or 2 that I'm going to put above them, I feel like can be better. Scotty Barnes is an amazing player, but the things around him aren't good. They were the 12th seed last season, so it's not really that much of a drop-off. I'll list off some names they got around them. Obviously, they've got Scotty. They've got Grady Dick. They've got RJ Quickly. Chris Boucher. Jakob Poeltl. Davion Mitchell now. The team doesn't excite me apart from Scotty and RJ. The rest of the team is like, meh. You know, they're just the 13th, 12th seed. They don't excite me. That's all I really have to say with the Raptors. They really didn't do anything. But maybe Scotty will make him a play-in team. I hope. That'd be cool to see. But really, I don't think it's going to happen. This 12th seed, I think it's easy to say. It's going to be the Charlotte Hornets. I feel like we haven't seen enough of Brandon and LaMelo together, and that's just all because of LaMelo injuries. They're both great players. Brendan Miller showed he could be a great player, but they need to both be there for them to do something, and I don't know how injury prone LaMelo is. He's very, very injury prone. I don't know if it's just Charlotte, or I don't know, but I don't feel like if he can't keep his injuries in check, we're not going to see this team make play-in or anything like that anytime soon. They really just got LaMelo and Brandon Miller. Like, they added Taj Gibson and Josh Green, but are they going to push them to a play-in? Probably not. I mean, they have Mark Williams, they have Grant Williams, they added Trey Mann. Other than that, the team is not good. I'd say it's better than Toronto. Injuries aside, it's definitely better than Toronto. That team is so much better than Toronto. If that team was fully injury gone, I could even maybe pop them into the back end of play-in. But I just don't know how LaMelo's injuries are going to result this year. That's why I can't put them higher than this. This next team, for me, is the Washington Wizards. I feel like this team and the 10th seed team could interchange. I don't know. But I'm going to put Washington there. They had a good offseason, in my opinion. They added Sadiq Bey, they added Malcolm Brogdon, and they added Valanciunas. That is 3 good players, good role players, great players. Now, in saying this, they lost Benny, they lost Tyus Jones, and they lost Shamet, which Shamet you're not going to care about. But the other 2, quite good players. Now, the roster they've got around them, with these 3 new signings, they've still got Kyle Kuzma, they got their draft pick of Alexander Sarr, they've got Corey Kispert, they've got Jordan Poole, they've got Marvin Bagley, Koulibaly, Patrick Ball. They've got a good team. Them in this 10th seed, they could interchange. They're very close. They're very, very close. I feel like if these 2 teams are the other way around, I'm not going to be that mad about it, because I know that these teams could have changed. Now, this other team I'm talking about is the Chicago Bulls. Now, they won Cooper Flag. They're finally not running it back. They finally got rid of DeMar. I feel like if they get rid of Vucevic, that would be great for them. If they get some good picks for it, they won't. But they did add to the team this year, but they got rid of their team as well. They could tank a little bit maybe and hopefully get that Cooper Flag, because I think that's what they want, but they're not going to. But you never know. Obviously, the trade we all know, traded DeMar. They received Chris Duarte in 2 seconds. They got stiffed over, but it's fine. It was a 3-team trade. Blah. They also, this was the big trade. They traded Caruso and got Josh Giddey. Now, I'll make a separate video talking about the Western Conference, because that'll be fun. There's a lot over there. But for now, we'll just stick with this East. Josh Giddey, obviously, scandals off the court. Not worried about off court. On court ball only. He's a decent player. His first year was much better than last year, or whatever it was. He can get you a triple-double on a good basis. They're going with the young team because they still got Kobe White. They also added Jalen Smith from the Pacers. Give him a solid center. Maybe they're thinking of trading Vooch. I think they want to trade Vooch. But around them, obviously, they got Kobe White. They're praying on Lonzo to come back. Will they trade him? Will they keep him around? I don't know. They've obviously got Zach, Vooch. They got Buzelis, who they drafted. Dalen Terry. They got Desumi. They've got a decent team. They've got a playing team. Now the next team, the 9th seed team. I think this is a clear cut on who this will be. I think it's Atlanta. They obviously traded Murray. They got back Dyson Daniels, Larry Nance Jr., and Cody Zeller and 2 firsts. I think that's good. We'll talk about the Pelicans next time. But I feel like the Murray and trade didn't work as well as it should. They both wanted the other to score. They both wanted the other to do well, which is fine, but they were very good with one of them on the court, not with both. So I feel like we're back to square one again with the Hawks. Put some other people around them. Trae Young's gonna go off this season. I want to be as non-biased as possible. The teams above are too good. I'm gonna have to. It's gonna hurt me to say. I'm gonna put the Miami Heat at 8th. We did nothing. I don't want to turn this into a Miami Heat rant, but from time of this recording, we have done sweet nothing. We added Alec Burks. That's it. We got rid of Jamal Cain, Orlando Robinson. I don't even need that. Patty Mills and Caleb Martin. We lost 4 players for nothing. For nil. For 0. And we got Alec Burks from the Knicks. That's all we've done. We've got Jimmy Butler trade rumors, which he can't get paid to anything because he's not gonna fit anywhere. The only thing I'd want back to Jimmy is Brandon Ingram and something else. But that's not gonna happen. Hopefully we can have a Jimmy I've got a point to prove season. And Jimmy I'm gonna be healthy season, or an all-round healthy Heat team. If this Heat team is healthy, I feel like we could be a top 6 seed, but I can't trust this team and their health. A bit like Charlotte. Our team cannot stay healthy, whether that's in the playoffs, regular season. We cannot stay healthy. It's just never happened. I'm sick of this running back. I feel like a Bulls fan. We just keep running it back. Yes, we've been successful-ish. We made it to the finals twice in this last 4 or 5 years, but I think both times we only won 1 game. We barely got to the finals against the Nuggets. We were on our last legs. But a little rant about this team. I feel like if we were the one that versed the Warriors, we would have won. If Jimmy made that 3 against the Celtics. Anyway, that's not this video. Yeah, Miami Heat 8 seed, didn't do anything. That's all I have to say. Really, disappointed, but you've got to be real sometimes. You know, you got to be real. I know I say this a lot. This is a really hard spot because there's 2 teams that can be here. I just don't know which team I want to put there, really. I'm going to put the Indiana Pacers at 7th, which might be surprising to a lot because they had a good playoff run. They had a very good playoff run, but I feel like we all would have known what would have happened if Giannis was in that playoff run. Okay? They wouldn't have got as far as they did. But in all saying that, Tyrese Halliburton is a great player. Pascal Siakam, great player. I feel like Indiana, they lost Jalen Smith to the Bulls, obviously, and they added Wiseman, which are interesting, but could be a good fit. I don't know. But yeah, they're just a good team. I feel like this top 7 will be very close, especially this 5 to 7. I feel like that can teeter. So Indy could end up in here. It all depends on injury, really. But in saying that, the next team is the Orlando Magic. I feel like Paolo this year is going to be something else. I feel like, yeah, he wants to make another playoff. He wants to make a playoff run. They had a close series with the Magic, with the Cavs. So I feel like now he's got a taste of it. He'll want more. Plus, they added likes of KCP and Corey Joseph. They only lost Joe Ingles. Not a massive loss. They added KCP, a champion, a 2-time champion. Yeah, I feel like they'll be really excited about that. I feel like they could definitely be the 5th seed, but teams above them are very good. Are very, very good. This top 7 in the East is very close. And then other than that, it kind of just whittles out. But yeah, the Orlando Magic, I feel like can be better than than the Pacers this year. It'll be close. Now, in saying so, I'm going to put the Cleveland Cavaliers in 5th place. Now, they finished 4th last season, which the only reason I'm going to put them there is because all these teams have something different. all have improved in a certain way. The Cavs, amongst these teams, they didn't do anything. They were fine with how they are. They added JT Thor, and I think that's it. I mean, Garland struggled. I think he came off a surgery this year. Donovan was a sleeper on the MVP earlier in the season. He was like, they had good season. I think it whittled out a little bit towards the middle. But yeah, they were having a good season. Donovan Mitchell was great, I think, until he wasn't a little bit. I think he struggled a bit. I can't remember it fully. But yeah, Donovan Mitchell's one of my favourite players to watch. So I hope the Cavs do well, but we will see. Now this is interesting. This is really interesting. This rest of this thing all depends on injuries, and every single one of this, there's 3 teams here that, you know what, all 4 of these teams need to win it, because they've all got a lot on their backs. One team less than the rest, but the 4th seed, I'm gonna put the Bucks. This will be our first full full season with hopefully a healthy season with Dame and Giannis. Giannis had, I think, the best career of his life, and wasn't even in top 3 of the MVP votings. He had a great season. Him and Dame obviously new to each other, trying to figure it out. We saw that. I think if Giannis was in that playoff run, they could have made some noise. Definitely could have been up there with the Celtics. But yeah, now they've got a clean start. They had coach issues mid-season. I feel like if they can get off to a nice start, nothing controversial. They just play good ball. I feel like they can do better than this. But we don't know what they're like to get on the court for a full season, full healthy season with nothing going wrong. So we'll see. This will be really exciting. Dame and Giannis together. But I feel like these 3 teams are just a bit better. Now, the team that these 2 could swap around with is Philly. I know they added Paul George, but in saying this, they lost Batum, they lost Mbamba, they lost Buddy Hield, they lost Melton, they lost Payne, and they lost Reed. So they kind of went from deep bench to a meh bench. But I feel like the Maxey, George, and Embiid powerhouse is just going to be better than the Bucks. Like, if you look at these top 4 teams, you've got Milwaukee, which has Dame, Giannis, and Chris Middleton as their top 3. Then you've got Tyrese, Embiid, and Paul George. I'm taking that 3 over the Bucks, and I feel like Philly has more depth than the Bucks. I just feel like the Philly can definitely be better than the Bucks this season, especially with no injuries. If Embiid is healthy, he might go for an MVP. Because he was on track for it last season. Like, he was so dominant at the start of the season, it was insane. Now I think this is pretty obvious. New York Knicks, second. I mean, they added Mikal, which is crazy. The Nova boys are gonna tear it up. They had a great season last season. Shame they couldn't get it all the way through. They're really fun to watch. They did lose Hartenstein, Alec Burks, and Shake Milton. Hartenstein, I feel like, is going to be a very big hit. They lost Bojan too. They added Diop and Payne, which I don't know. Yeah, they might struggle. They still got Mitch there, but they're definitely going to miss Hartenstein being there. But I think they'll pull through enough. They've still got Brunson, Mikal, Josh Hart, DiVincenzo. They've still got a good team. You know, the OG, they've got a good... Randall, when he's back, they've got a good team. They've got depth. They're good. Now, the Boston Celtics. I mean, is there much to say about this team? They signed Lonnie Walker for a 1-year deal. That's all they've done, basically. And that's enough. They didn't have to do anything. They've got everything you need. They've got Drew Holiday, they've got Derek White, they've got Jason, they've got Brown, they've got Porzingis, but Porzingis might not be healthy enough. So we'll see what happens with that. But I feel like even without that, they still got Horford off the bench. They'll be fine. I feel like there's going to be another domination for the Celtics. I don't want to make any predictions of the playoffs and the finals yet. But I feel like this is my predictions for the Eastern Conference table. I'm happy with this. Obviously, I could be completely wrong. Injuries could affect everything. Or I could be 1 or 2 positions off. It just pains me to have Miami here, but I got to be real. These top 7 teams are great. And I think we're in our own little category of just okay. And then the rest are meh. And they're great. Yeah, make sure you like, comment. Comment what your table is down in the comments. I will see you guys in the next standing predictions for the West.